So I haven't done a video in a while, and I decided today I was going to make some onion rings. I got these gigantic onions from my Woodman's grocery pickup, and they're perfect for making rings out of. So the reason I decided to video this process is because one of the steps is dredging, and that's where the process of breading something. So I wanted to show you sort of how that works. So I'll try to make this a quick one. But I'm going to get some of the ingredients prepped, and then I'll come back and go through the steps with you. So I prepped my ingredients. I have my onions sliced back here. I sliced them not pretty thin. I sliced them thinly with my knife. I like them a little thicker. I was going to use my mandolin, but that would make them very, very small. Very thin, and I didn't want that. I also popped out the middles. I don't need all of my onion made into onion rings. I'm just going to make a few of them. And those middle smaller pieces, I took those out and I saved them, and I'll just cut those up and use them in a different recipe. I left the onion here. This is what's left. I have half of it that I didn't even slice, and then those little pieces are in there as well. I like to wrap my onions in foil because I feel like that doesn't let the onion smell go into my fridge and make the whole fridge smell like onion. So I use foil to wrap up my onions when I have leftovers. And then I have here for my dredging some flour. This is just flour, and I'm going to dip the onion rings in the flour first and then into the batter that I made right here. The batter ingredients were 1 egg, a cup of milk, and a 1/4 cup of oil. It tells you to use a hand mixer to mix that for 1 minute. I just did it with this little whisk because I don't know where my hand mixer is, and I hate washing my hand mixer, and I just didn't think I needed to get it out for this. Then I mixed together the dry ingredients, which was flour and salt and baking powder. And once I mixed those together, then I added them into here to make this batter. This is going to make the onion rings have a soft sort of batter on the outside. Some recipes might have you dip them in panko or breadcrumbs at in the dredging steps, and that's going to make it for like a crispier, crunchier outside, where this is going to be a softer sort of breading. And then over here I had my oil heating up, but then I got a phone call. So I had to take it off the heat because oil will start on fire if you heat it for too long without paying attention to it. So the oil's in there. What I did for that is some avocado oil and some coconut oil. I made I don't know if you can see, it's maybe like a 1/2 inch up the side of the pan. I struggled with what pan to use because I wanted a smaller pan that would make the oil amount that I used make it higher, so it would have then when the onion rings went in, they would fry a little easier. But because my onions are so big, I didn't want too small of a pan, or I'm just going to be cooking 1 or 2 onion rings at a time, and I didn't want that either. So I just grabbed this big sort of high-sided frying pan to do my oil in. And I don't know if I told you already, but I did some avocado and some coconut oil. Both of those have higher smoke points, so the temperature can get higher to fry in without burning your food or it starting on fire. Some oils, olive oil, butter, have lower points. At school when we're frying, we use corn oil a lot. Peanut oil has a high temperature for frying. So you want an oil that's not going to burn at that high temperature, and you also want something that isn't going to impart a lot of flavor. So I mixed the 2 coconut and avocado, hoping to mitigate or minimize the coconut flavor in the frying. So I'm going to let the oil heat up, and then I'll do a time lapse on how I bread the onion rings, and then I'll show you them frying. Okay, I have some onion rings in there frying, and you just wait for them to get golden brown, and these two kind of cook together. And then carefully flip them over. I'm using a tongs to keep my hands away from that hot oil. Ooh, that one could have gone a little longer. So they're nice and golden, and you just flip them over. Cook both sides, and then take them out. I might put a little salt on them when they first come out, just so that the salt sticks to them. I always put them on a paper towel to kind of pick up any extra oil that's on there. And those are my onion rings.